Hello and welcome to Jumbo's Dad, and we're playing Truth on the Completely Useless Games channel.
Welcome to Truth, the game show where we award a $1 million prize to the contestant chosen by our audience. We have 6 challengers hooked up to lie detectors, which I'll be monitoring. In every round, we ask each of them 5 questions chosen by our audience. Then we vote one off based on their answers. Let's meet our contestants. Why don't you each tell me a little about yourself?
I'm Joe. I'm 28, and I'm from Philly.
Oh, Jumbo's been to Philly. Been there for 3 months.
My name is Alexis.
Think
and
of
I'm born and
Freeman.
raised in Beverly Hills.
My name is Sam. Hello. And I recently moved out here to Hollywood to get in the film industry. And I've been writing a long time before I even got to town. And I've got a lot of scripts. I'm willing to show them. Hit me up. And I'm very excited to be on the show.
I'm Autumn. I'm a California native, and I grew up right here in Los Angeles.
And colic my scripts.
Hi, I'm Claire. I've never been on TV before. I'm so excited to be
And
here.
again the same question.
And I'm California.
Diddle-a-doo.
Let's see what the audience wants to ask first.
Oh, trophy earned. What fresh hell is this trophy earned? What would you do with the money? What's your most embarrassing memory? What's your most controversial or unpopular opinion? What's your biggest regret? What's the dumbest thing you ever did? What's the most embarrassing guilty pleasure? What's the worst way you've betrayed him? What's your favourite holiday? Ask the trolley. Ask the trolley problem? What's the trolley problem? What would you do? What's your most embarrassing memory? Yes, we'll go with that.
What is your most embarrassing memory?
Man, I once tried dating 2 girls in the same night, and that did not go well. I was out with this one girl, and we were having a great time. And then I drove her home. I went inside. We fooled around a little bit. That was fun. And I said goodbye.
I don't believe him.
And I met this other chick.
Now, if it is said 2 girls in the same lifetime, I'd probably believe him.
I took her home, and it's the same home. Like, they're roommates, dude. So I'm like, okay, Joe, don't push your luck. Let's go home. But no, man, I don't know. I thought like maybe the first girl would be sleeping, or like best case, who knows, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I went inside, and sure enough, the first girl sitting there, like, watching TV. These girls laid it on me. They got up, they yelled at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're beautiful, both of you. Yeah, that sucked. That was, not my finest hour. Yikes.
I don't think we really learned anything from that. What's the dumbest thing you ever did?
What is the dumbest thing you ever did?
And don't say I watched Jumbo's Dad once.
Yeah, so I was the toughest kid in my high school, right? Everybody knew that about me. There was this guy, though. He was 6'8", freakishly tall, big guy. Everyone was like, oh, he's tough. Like, oh, he could take you. I hated that. What, you're tall, so that gives you grit? Bullshit. So, plus the guy, he was in honors classes. He must have been a nerd. No way he could take me. One day, it got to me. I called him out in the hallway. I egged him on. He didn't want to fight. I said, let's go. Not only did he beat my ass, but he beat it so badly. It was just, I was bruising for days, man. Best part is, though, we became...
What, your ass?
Yeah, the rest is history. I don't know, I picked a fight with a giant, got my ass beat. That was stupid. Yeah, that was stupid.
So, right, so, how many questions can we ask him? What's the most serious Oh, all right. Keep. Oh, all right. There's plenty of questions. All right. Um. If you found a wallet, would you return it,
If you
young
found a
man?
wallet, would you return it?
I mean, if there was cash in the wallet, I'd keep that, you know,
Oh.
for keepers. But yeah, I'd return the wallet. I've actually heard if you put a rubber band around the wallet and drop it in the mailbox, the post office will return it. I don't know if that's true, but
Oh.
yeah, that's what I do.
What's your most unusual
What's your
talent?
most unusual talent?
I could change my own oil. I could also fix a flat. You know, people used to know how to do that stuff. That was like common knowledge. But nowadays, no one knows how to do jack shit. Everyone's like
Bit of a
relying on
50s
others,
greaser feel
internet.
to this
Just
guy.
people don't know how to do stuff.
When he says he could change his oil, I don't know what he's on about his hair or
Guy stuff.
his motorbike.
Or girl stuff, whatever. Anymore. I don't know. Everyone's so sheltered.
What's the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
What is the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
Oh man, dude. For years, my friend John used to sell my friend Keith weed, but it wasn't weed, it was kale. Like, he would sell him kale instead of weed. And yeah, Keith didn't know. Like, for years, I was watching Keith, like, pack bongs with kale, and that wasn't working, so then he would, like,
Speaking of weed,
make kale
Jabo's Dad
brownies, and
is
he had
brought to
no
you in
idea.
part by Jelly
And,
Bread.
Yeah, I should have told him, but it was just too funny.
What's your most controversial or unpopular opinion? Oh! Looks like that's up with him. What can we ask her? What's this trolley problem? Ask the trolley problem.
You're the conductor on a runaway trolley. There are 5 people ahead of you on the tracks who do not have time to get off the tracks. If you continue forward, you will run over all 5 and they will die. You cannot stop the trolley, but you can change to an alternate track where there is only one person on it. If you choose to change tracks, the 5 people on the first track will live, but the one person on the alternate track will be run over and die. Do
I'm already
you
confused.
change tracks?
I'll be like, can you repeat the question?
I don't know anything about trolleys, but if I had a job driving one, I'm sure that they would teach me how to handle that situation in trolley school.
Trolley school. Bless her. What's the dumbest thing you ever did? I bet it's something like she answered the phone whilst ironing
What is the dumbest thing you ever did?
and burnt her
I
ear.
bought this outfit and I posted on Instagram #newoutfit. What I didn't realize is that I posted in the same exact outfit that I bought a few months earlier. People thought I was
What you
lying,
like?
but I just forgot that I bought the same outfit. People still bring it up in the comments to this day.
No wonder. What would you do with the money?
What would you do with the money?
Oh, I have a financial advisor that handles my money for me. My parents use them. They're really good.
Here we go. Describe a typical day in your life.
Describe a typical day in your life.
My days are really busy. My trainer wakes me up at 8. Then I hit the gym for 2 hours. I head downstairs to get breakfast. Then I take a shower, get my hair and makeup done. Then I get dressed. And I take my first selfie of the day.
Gotta get your
I talk to my
priorities
agent,
right.
and she tells me what photo shoots I have or other obligations. On the rare days that I'm not that busy, I get to come on things like this show.
If you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
Shape-shifting. If I could shape-shift, I wouldn't have to work out and watch what I eat every single day. And I could still have this figure.
So you'd shape-shift from, say, a size 14 to a 12 or 10. And you could be anything. What's your most unusual pet peeve? Oh no, time's up with her. Let's ask the actor stroke writer. What can we ask him? Oh no, we don't ask him about his unusual tale, just bang on about fucking acting. Oh, I'll be here all fucking day. Describe a typical day. See him again, he'll say, oh, okay, don't pass that fucking dancing. Sing the sound of music. Oh no, we don't need it. What's your most unusual pet peeve? See, all these questions, what's your happiest memory? Well, I was on stage once with fucking such a buddy, and we don't need all that. See him again with that, no.
If you found a wallet, would you return it?
Okay. So if I found the wallet, the question of whether or
Don't
not
make
it
a drama
returns
out of it.
depends. Now, if it was
Fucking...
a one percenter, a
Yes,
wealthy
I know.
individual, and that wallet was filled with money, I might take the money and return the wallet anonymously. If it was seemingly like just a regular person, regular working stiff, then I think I'd just return the whole thing. But if it was a Gucci wallet with gold around the sides, black card, the whole nine, I might have to take a little for myself.
We're not asking him what he does for a living. Who would you like to be stranded on an island? We're not asking him what job he does. What's your biggest fear?
What's your biggest fear?
Okay, you know, my biggest fear, and this might be uncommon, but I am afraid of things that can't really happen, or things that are like an optical illusion.
Never a straight
but aren't
lines.
possible in real life. So, for example, MC Escher paintings, like a staircase that starts nowhere and leads to nowhere, and
Like this
walls
fucking
and
question.
architecture that are not possible
Ooh,
in
Resident
real
Evil
life,
4's updated.
or opening a door and a room is upside down, or just objects that move through space and do not abide by the laws of physics. Because I'm a logical person, I'm trying to wrap my head around these things, and because like I can't get a toehold in logic into how that setup is occurring, I lose my bearings. And
Wait, this is an hour show on John Bostad.
that is my biggest fear.
Don't ask him another question. Have you all fucking day? What's the most serious
What's the
law
most
you've ever
serious law
broken?
you've ever broken?
I would say the most serious law I've ever broken is sneaking
The fourth
into
wall?
a movie. So, in 2015, Star Wars The Force Awakens was coming out, and there was an advanced sneak preview screening beforehand. And it was invite only. So I figured out a way around that since I wasn't invited, but I did want to see it. I'm not going to tell you what theater it was or what theater chain because I do not want to get a phone call from their attorneys. But the night before this advanced screening, I went to a movie at that theater, and then I stayed in the theater all night long. I hid in the bathroom, slept there, and then the next day, I was in the theater for the screening. And there were a couple of seats open. It wasn't completely full. So I got into the sneak preview. I saw The Force Awakens early. I'm not proud of it. It's probably a big felony, but I would do it again.
You crazy bastard. It's a criminal genius. Have you ever cheated on anyone?
Have you ever cheated on anyone?
No. And I don't think I ever would.
Is that because
Not
of
even if I had a
opportunities?
chance.
Yeah.
Although I did cheat on a math test once in junior high. And I couldn't live with myself afterwards, so I wouldn't even cheat on a test again.
But you cheat someone out of the money from the wallet. That's interesting. What's the dumbest thing you ever did?
What is the dumbest thing you ever did?
Dumbest thing.
And
I
don't
ever
say you watched Jambo's dad.
How do I choose just one? Okay. I was camping outside a store waiting to buy a game console. So it was gonna
Don't
be
tell me you
released, and I wanted
slept
to get there
there.
early. I wanted to make
I got
sure
one of-
that I got one.
Oh, fuck no.
And I set up a tent. I was so
Unbelievable.
asleep outside the store. I was there for 28 hours in my tent. The night before the store opened, when they were going to sell the console, it was go time. I went to sleep in my tent, had my phone with me. I didn't have any way to charge my phone, and my alarm didn't go off in the morning because my phone ran out of juice. I woke up 3 hours after the store opened, and I did not get the console. I slept in a tent on a sidewalk. Got back problems from it. For what ended up being no reason whatsoever.
Run out of questions. So I don't know what we've really deduced from this fella. What should we ask this lady? What's your most unusual pet peeve?
What's your most unusual pet peeve?
It drives me crazy when people throw away plastic bottles with the cap screwed on. I understand that people are busy and can't always do much to help the environment, but all they have to do in this case is not screw the cap back on. If they put the cap on, then there's air trapped in the bottle and it won't flatten out in the landfill. Just leave the cap off and the bottle will get crushed and will take up way less space. It literally takes less than no effort.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
I organized a demonstration to save a park, and it worked. They were going to level the place and build a
Bit of a
distribution
hippie, this
center.
chick.
We had people protesting at the site for 3 weeks straight and got over 1,000 names on the petition. They ended up building the distribution center on the site of a nearby abandoned mall instead, so we didn't lose any jobs or anything. It was a complete win.
What do you do?
Here we go.
I escaped the rat race a few years ago. I cut all my expenses drastically, so now I only need a few $100 a month to survive. I deliver food through those gig apps, but only 2 or 3 orders per day, just enough to get by. I find if I make more money than I need, I just end up buying stuff that clutters my life and makes me less happy.
Describe a typical day in your life.
Describe a typical day in your life.
I live in my van now by choice. When I wake up, I usually drive to the gym so I can work out and get a shower. After breakfast, I usually work one of those food delivery apps for about an hour. I can't stand a normal job, but I can handle those apps in small doses. Once I'm done, I relax for the rest of the day. I go to the beach a lot. Every day feels like a day off because I don't have a regular day job or a boss to deal with. It's pretty great, to be honest.
What's your favourite holiday?
What is your favorite holiday?
I don't think we've asked anyone that question, have we?
Arbor Day. I
When's
like that there's a
Arbor
holiday
Day? When's
for
that?
trees and
What's
not
that?
humans. I always try to spend that day hanging out in the woods, away from people.
What's your most embarrassing memory? Oh, bollocks. What's your most embarrassing memory?
What is your most embarrassing memory?
Oh gosh, there's been quite a few things in my life that are embarrassing, but
Oh, she's Scottish. She's still alive,
on
isn't
trains
she?
that go around checking everyone's tickets that they've got the right tickets.
Aye.
Well, it was my high school reunion, and I pretended that I was one of those people, that was my job, so that everyone would think I was really successful. But then it turned out in the group there was somebody who was a real ticket checker, and they told everyone that I wasn't. They didn't.
Oh, you
I didn't
lie.
have that job. They knew I didn't. Like, they never saw me at work. It was so embarrassing.
Oh,
They really dropped me in it.
what's your biggest regret?
What's your biggest regret?
Well, that's easy. That would be the fishing trip I took my daughter Mallory on 20 years ago. Well, obviously I couldn't afford a boat. So we borrowed 2 floating pool chairs and off we went out into the ocean. It was a beautiful day. Unfortunately, I got caught in an undercurrent and I was swept off to a desert island. I saw she made it back to shore. It took me so long to get off the desert island that by the time I got home, she'd moved on, and I've not been able to find her since.
I think we've got a bit of bullshitter here. That's a bit fucking wild. I think she might have a screw loose.
What's the most serious law you've ever broken?
International piracy law.
Yeah, she's fucked.
When I was lost at sea one time,
Get to
thought
fuck.
all was lost. But a pirate ship came by.
Oh,
and actually
fucking
rescued me.
pirates, was
Now,
it?
you've heard bad things
Right.
about pirates and so on.
Well,
They
aye.
could not have been nicer.
Is
They gave me a job
that
teaching on
right?
ship so that I could earn my keep when I was there. And everything was going great until they
You
got
should
so
never judge a
vicious.
book by a
They were
cover.
so
eh?
superstitious, so they thought for some reason it might be bad luck that I was on board with them. So they were just about to drop me off.
Aye.
when we got raided by a Russian Navy ship. Who
Bastard,
put us
eh?
all in a Russian jail for 5 years.
What a bastard. That's a totally believable story there. Here we go. This should be fucking funny. Describe a typical life in your day.
Describe a typical day in your life.
A typical day in my life.
That's a typical life in your
searching
day.
for my missing daughter Mallory, and really, it is one of the big benefits to being homeless and unemployed is that I have no ties. I've nothing holding me back and stopping me from hitchhiking out there, getting on the road, heading to the last town that I've heard that she was in. When I get to the town, usually I find out that she's just left there suddenly. So I'll search for a soup kitchen or a dumpster, get something nice to eat, and then
I mean,
place
we're
to shelter until
making
I hit
fun,
the
but
road
it's not
again the
right,
next
I
morning
mean,
until
just
I
let them out into the community.
find Mallory.
Ugh. There's no backup system for these people. What would you do with the money, love?
What would you do with the money?
I would hire a private investigator to help me find.
Oh, fuck, I think we've asked her this somewhere.
We got separated on a fishing trip quite a few years ago now.
Yeah, we
and
did.
I
Oh,
spent all my
bollocks.
time and my resources finding her, going from city to city, but she's always moved on. So, yeah, a private investigator could be life-changing for me.
Can't ask her any more questions. Oh, here we go. Let's ask Wednesday something. What's your favourite holiday? Just say good. Wait,
And
2
what
weeks
is
in a
your favorite
graveyard.
holiday?
2 weeks in Chernobyl.
Between Memorial Day, there's more murders in the US on Memorial Day than any other day of the year. And All Hallows Eve, when the boundaries between the land of the living and the land of the dead are erased.
Spooky bitch.
Have you cheated on anyone?
Of course I have. I don't answer to men. If I choose to hook up with a guy, he should be eternally grateful. I certainly don't have any obligations to him afterwards.
What's your
What
most
is
unusual
your
talent?
Most unusual talent.
I'm an expert at falconry. I have a small collection of extremely well-trained birds of prey. I find owls to be particularly useful.
Not really getting anywhere with her. I don't see what we're supposed to be asking. I mean, they've got lie detector things on them, but
If you
what's
could
the
have any
point?
job, what would it be?
Engravedigger, I think.
Supreme ruler of Earth.
Oh,
You said any job. Who wouldn't want to rule Earth?
so you want to be
If
Bill
anybody
Gates?
says anything else, they're lying, and their lie detector should go off. Totalitarianism can be a very effective form of government with the right ruler. Look at Vlad the Impaler.
Related to
Sure.
Prince Charles.
He has his
Ugh.
critics.
So
Some have
is
said his
all you
methods
need
were
to
too
know about
harsh.
Prince Charles.
But look at his empire.
Got prostate
how
problems now.
smoothly it was run.
I've been shoving them frigging sausage
Hardly
fingers up his
any
ass. No wonder. Oof.
I could do that. I could be the next Vlad the Impaler.
Charlie the Impaler. Sausage fingers. What advice would you give
What
your
advice would
younger
you give
self?
to your younger self?
Don't ever join a witch coven.
Okay.
It'll seem like a good idea at the time. But the people calling themselves witches these days, they aren't practicing real witchcraft. They're such a disappointment.
That's the end of this round.
Was
Soon
it cold
find
in the
out
ground
who
this
will be
morning?
home after this message from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Rebecca Cartwright.
Oh,
Have you been injured in an automobile accident or hurt on the job? Has your case already been settled and you've been awarded a large sum of money? Call Rebecca Cartwright, 555-1258. Rebecca is 25, single, and looking for a long-lasting relationship. Must love dogs. Now it's time for the audience to vote. Please enter the selection of the contestant you think should be going home.
alright, she was sent home. Joe's a bit of a tip, but came over honest and shared his embarrassing moments with us. He came over as kind of honest kind of fella. This girl came across as sort of vain type, only bothered with the social media image and not really bothered about anything else. Same again. Hippie chick, heart's in the right place. She hasn't got much cash. Completely nuts. But, it's still likable. And then we've got Lilith. Not really endearing in any way, really. So I'm going to send Lilith home. I'm sorry, Lilith, sweetheart, but your time with us on Truth and on Jambo's dad's completely useless games channel is over. Bye-bye.
The votes are in. The audience has voted to send home Lilith. Please keep in mind that this was not my decision.
No, it was mine. Bye, you spooky bitch. She doesn't come here.
Okay, let's get started.
Better
with
call
round
Rebecca
two.
Trophy.
Audience, choose your first question.
The questions haven't changed. I mean, I've pretty much asked him all these, haven't I? Oh, right. So the ones that aren't lit up, I haven't asked him. Let's find out what he does for a living.
What do you do for a living?
I work at a distribution center where I drive a forklift. Pays pretty decent, and I get good overtime.
So he's a kind of regular Joe, good honest work. If he could have any job, though, what would it be? Let's ask him and find out.
If you could have any job, what would it be?
Sports commentator.
Sports
Pretty sure you can only do
commentator,
that if you're
yeah.
like an ex-athlete, but if I could somehow get that job, I'd love it.
And tell me, what is your biggest fear?
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is dying.
Oh, dude.
I mean, duh. Like, I don't want to die. I mean, not in any particular way. You know, people are like, oh, I don't want to drown or
Kind of like
by
this
a
guy.
lion. Like,
He's
I don't
an
care how I
honest
go.
kind of
I
dude.
just don't want to be dead, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to agree with that shit. Yeah. If you could have any
If you could have
superpower,
any
what would you
superpower.
choose?
What would you choose?
Immortality. I've heard nerds say, like, oh, that would be a curse.
Relates to the
something
last
like that, but I
question.
don't believe that. That's BS. If I could choose anything, yeah, I'd live forever, for sure.
What's your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
I love bad movies. You know, movies that are so bad that then they're good.
I
It's
like
just,
this
like, so
guy.
entertaining
We
how
got
bad they
shit
are.
in common.
Sharknado. That shit sucks.
Oh
man.
no, yeah,
It's
I
good,
wouldn't,
you
I
know?
wouldn't even
Or
watch
like,
that.
what does the fox say? Oh, that's a song, but you know, it's so bad that I like that song. You know, stuff like that. Yeah, bad things.
Have you seen The
affect good
Greasy
things
Strangler?
for me.
That's a fantastic crap film. It's wonderful. I don't think we need to ask this guy the trolley problem. I think we've got the measure of this young fella. I think he's okay on the whole. Let's describes a typical day in his life. It's just going to be about work, and it's going to be boring. Here we go. What's your most controversial or unpopular? Oh, bollocks! Oh well. We'll ask. I don't think she's got any opinion. It'd probably be something like, I think Snap is better than Instagram or something. That'll just be pointless. What's your most
What
embarrassing
is your
guilty
most
pleasure?
embarrassing guilty pleasure?
Prima Cinema. It's this service where you can watch a new movie at home the day it's released in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching movies. And I have a home theater, so why wouldn't I use it?
Maybe we misjudged Jessica. Maybe we was too quick to jump to conclusions, but just saw blonde hair. And let's ask her what her favourite holiday is.
What is your favorite holiday?
My birthday falls on Christmas, so I get
Oh.
double presents every year.
But, like, do they not say that's for Christmas and your birthday? Because they do that shit with me. My birthday's on Boxing Day. I don't think this girl's broken any laws, not knowingly. So that there's no point even asking that question. Because even if she didn't do it on purpose. Let's see what her talent is, though.
What is your most...
Hope it's not OnlyFans.
I'm a really good cook.
I
I had to live in the old days where people had to cook their own meals. I get by just fine.
Well, it's a rarity these. You're a very good cook. There's nothing wrong with that, love. Nothing wrong with that. A man likes a good cook.
What's your happy...
And so does a woman. You know. Anything in between?
When I was 8 years old, my
don't
parents
offend
bought me
you.
my first pony. They made sure it was a surprise by telling me I wouldn't get one until I was 10 years old. Then I went outside, and there she was, with a big bow. It was extra surprising because it wasn't even my birthday.
I think she'd return the wallet. So there's no point asking that. Let's ask her biggest fear. What is your biggest fear?
What is your biggest fear?
Getting a pimple. I've known people who have had one, and they say it's awful.
Oh,
That's why I do a strict regimen of cleansing, toning, and moisturizing to make sure I don't get one.
that's what I
I
do.
heard it can happen to anyone.
I like this chick. What's the worst way? Yes, this should be revealing. What's the worst way you've betrayed a friend? Oh, bollocks. Ugh. Go on, what's your most embarrassing
What is your
guilty
most
pleasure?
Embarrassing guilty
We're
pleasure.
going to be here for the next half an hour. He'll
Yeah,
be
mine
dragging a
was an
stage
embarrassing
out.
guilty pleasure.
We'll probably sing a
I like to go
song.
back and rewatch the cartoons from my childhood. I don't do it all the time, but when I think of one and I haven't seen it in a while, I'll look it up, I'll see where it's streaming or where I can find it,
I
and
do
then
that
I will
as well,
watch
to be
the
fair.
crap out of it from front to back and relive my childhood a little bit. Maybe take out some of my old action figures. Yeah, that is an embarrassing guilty pleasure.
So I wouldn't say that was that embarrassing. What's the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
What is the worst way you've betrayed a friend?
Well, I try not to betray friends, but okay. I spoiled Avengers Infinity War for several of my friends and coworkers.
Excuse me.
So, opening night, I saw it twice. I got my tickets
Don't
in
tell me you
advance
slept
for
the night
two
before.
showings right in a row, back to back. I was at the theater for like 6 hours just downloading Infinity War, and it was awesome. But I'm like, okay, Friday, maybe people haven't seen it yet. Over the weekend, I saw it 2 more times. I go into work Monday. I assume that everyone has seen it. It's a phenomenon. It's like the movie grossed like $2 billion. I don't know how much everyone saw it. I assume they all saw it opening weekend. And I started going on about the people we lost, the Avengers we lost.
This is basically a
Snap.
spoiler.
I really spoiled that movie for a lot of people. I had a lot of apologizing to do that day. And if
That's
you're
not the end
watching,
of the world.
let me just say once again, I am so sorry. I promise you, I am now keeping it spoiler free.
Go on.
Describe a typical day in your life.
Well, usually my day is going to revolve around what I'm watching and what games I'm playing. So, work aside, when I have free time, I'm going to be binging something, and just got done with The Last of Us, binged The Mandalorian, currently watching The Winchesters, and then I'm going to play video games, gaming, a lot of RPGs, and I am
Be sure to watch
immersed
this
in
channel,
that.
won't you?
I take gaming very seriously. Oh, and one more thing I take very seriously, snacking. I will always have some snacks on standby and some beverages, and I like playing with snack beverage combos. Yeah, that's pretty important. That's my day.
What's your
What is
happiest
your
memory?
happiest memory?
I'm going there in my mind right now. Absolutely my happiest memory
Oh.
was
Nerd alert!
see Phantom Menace on the big screen. Star Wars Episode 1. You
I think
see,
I got this guy wrong.
let's rewind. I thought I would never see new Star Wars in my lifetime. So when that came to pass, and I found myself butt in seat, looking up in a theater, brand new, taking me to a galaxy far, far away, the iconic scroll, the Star Wars logo, the score, John Williams. I can honestly say I was never happier. Now,
At least that movie made someone happy.
quality overall of the prequels, that is another conversation. But for that frozen moment in time, kill me now. I'm good.
Okay.
If you could have any
This should be good.
what would you choose?
Any superpower? You know, I'd have to go with Mr. Mixelplix's magic.
Never heard of him.
Might be a deep cut for some people. He's great. He's an imp from the fifth dimension, DC
Okay.
Comics, and he's part of the Rogues Gallery of Superman. If you can mess with Superman, you've got some powers. And I just like that he's a wily and weird. But his one weakness is he can wind up in prison in the fifth dimension if he says his own name backwards.
That's a
But come
pisser.
to
isn't
think of
it?
it, I've never said my own name backwards. So, yeah, should be fine. Yeah, let's definitely go with Mixelplix.
What advice would you give your younger self? Oh, bollocks. Who would you want to be stranded on an island with? It's going to be
If you
Jumbo
were
Stars.
going to be stranded on an island with one person of your choosing, who would it be?
I know the standard answer is to name someone really hot who you want to sleep with, but that's actually pretty cruel. You're basically condemning the person you picked to be stranded on a deserted island. That's a pretty awful thing to do to someone. I'd pick no one. I'd be stuck on the island by myself.
That's a lie.
Oh,
This is embarrassing. Forgot I was hooked up to a lie detector.
so this is
I'd
the
pick
first
Chris
lie.
Hemsworth. Sorry, Chris.
What's your biggest fear?
What is your biggest fear?
Global warming and pollution. Humans are killing this planet. Nature doesn't fight back, so humans are the only ones who can save the planet, but we're the ones it needs saving from. So the Earth is pretty much doomed.
If you could have any
superpower,
superpower, what would you choose?
Chlorokinesis.
Hmm?
It's the power Swamp Thing has that lets him be one with plant life. I'd love to be able to communicate with nature on its own level. Plus, if I had a power like that, I'd really be able to help save the planet.
What's your happiest memory?
That's easy. First time I went to Burning Man. It wasn't that I loved Burning Man. Back then, I worked myself to death at my office job. I only averaged maybe 50 hours per week, but the stress, it stayed with me all
Holy.
the time, so it
Fuck
felt like
50 hours a week.
Burning Man was the very first vacation I ever took. Once I got to feel what it was like to be free from work for multiple days straight, it changed my life. I stopped working a corporate job, stopped obsessing over money, and now I'm finally happy.
If you could have any job, what would it be?
If you could have any job, what would it be?
I don't want any job. The most valuable thing I have is my free time, and I am not willing to sell that time for an hourly wage.
Good on you. Don't blame you. Not cattle. Oh, bollocks. Here we go. What were you like as a child?
What were you like as a child?
I was a hoop trundler.
Oh, of course you
You
were.
know, when you get the wooden hoop and you run it down the street with your wooden stick. Oh, I was
My mum
getting so
talks
good
about
at
that.
it. I could go really fast
The
and really
friggin'
far.
hell, man.
I had to stop because I got rickets.
Sticking a hoop to play with. I'm on a PS5. Mind you, I'm 50. If you found a wallet,
If you found a wallet,
would you return
would
it?
you return it?
Absolutely, I would return a wallet. I mean, if I was ever lucky enough to own something as precious as a wallet, I would really hope that someone would return mine to me if I ever lost it.
If you could have any job, what would it be?
If you could have any job, what would it be?
Any job in the whole world, I would choose to be a wealthy banker because they get paid a fortune and their hours don't seem bad at all. I mean, maybe when the line gets really long up to their till, that might get stressful managing that, but apart from that, I mean, what's the downside?
What advice would you give your younger
What
self?
advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, I would tell my younger self to stay away from drugs.
Aye.
I did far too many pharmaceutical studies.
Everything in moderation.
I was warned, don't do more than one at the same time, but the money was so good. I got greedy and I signed up for 18.
Aye.
Most of the
I'm lost. You sold.
horrific side effects have faded over time.
Oh, those types
However,
of.
I still
All
get terrible
right.
hallucinations when I pee.
MK
It
Ultra
works
kind
real
of
bad
shit.
to my left eye when I blink.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
I was a world record holder. I was the last known person to contract smallpox. For a week, somebody else did get it after me. I don't know.
Well, a
name.
lie
I
detector's
mean, I
not
don't really
going
remember
off,
the week
so
because I did have a terrible fever and
it went off with the other
really
woman.
itchy rash. But they say everyone gets their 15 minutes of fame, and that was mine.
That's the end of this round. We'll soon find out who will be going home after this message from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by OneSock.com. Does it always seem like you have an odd number of socks for some reason? OneSock.com lets you buy one individual sock so you can finally even things out. That's OneSock.com. Use offer code TRUTH, and they'll include a second sock absolutely free.
That's good of her.
Now it's time for the audience to vote. Please enter the selection of the contestant you think should be going home.
Oh no, this is getting difficult now. I think we're going to keep Joe. He's kind of your average Joe, isn't he, Joe? Let's go down. Alexis. Yeah, we'll keep her for now. And it's not just because she's a pretty face. Not ordinarily she'd be first to go in something like this for me. I don't want to, rush to judgments with them. It'd be wrong. And same again with Sam. So it's getting very difficult. Autumn, again, bless her. She wants to save the world. And then we've got Crazy Claire. Oh, it's difficult. It's very difficult. I don't know who to send on. Well, join us next time on Jambo's Dad. And if you think one of them should be sent home, please write in the comments who you think should be sent home. because this is a very difficult decision for me. And we'll see you next time on Jumbo's Dad's completely useless games channel.